Hey, I'm late to my Beyond the Gates recap today, but I got Big Brother out. I got Love Island that I don't even know if to talk about. Um, but I still wanted to talk about today's Beyond the Gates because I enjoyed the episode. Today is July 10th, 2025, a Thursday episode for Beyond the Gates, and there was tension amongst a lot of characters today. Let's start with Leslie's big day. I've been saying for weeks now that Hayley needs a friend. And while I still think Eva was the logical choice because they're closer in age, Leslie approaching Hayley to buddy up to her is very interesting for many reasons. Because they both do need friends, is the main reason. And Leslie was 100% right in the fact that nobody in Fairmont Crest fucks with Hayley. And nobody does the same with Leslie because of the things they have done. And we got typical Hayley and Hayley trying to play it off as though she does still have friends. And then later in the episode, she tries to buddy up with Ashley, which doesn't go anywhere. So Hayley did her usual fake nonsense. I was hoping that Leslie would get through to Hayley because Hayley just needs someone in her life besides Bill, because otherwise she's just not an interesting character when the character's entire reason on the show is just Bill. So I'm hoping that Leslie did get through to her a little bit and she does reconsider because Hayley does need a friend. Now, later in the episode, Nicole joined in on Leslie, sitting at the table with Leslie, and Leslie was just poking the bear the entire time. Leslie was throwing in Nicole's face all of the times that she and Ted were having sex, when Nicole was going through her problem and trying to have a baby, all her miscarriages. Leslie was really going low with Nicole today. And it finally reached a breaking point where Nicole finally snapped on Leslie. Snapped so hard that she attacked Leslie and started choking her at Orphe Jeans. And it's nice to see Nicole finally break. You know, she's been this strong character who's a therapist, and sometimes she could be a little holier than thou, like she's kind of been with Dani and Andre lately, even though she was kind of right about them too. But it's nice to see this emotion finally crack with Nicole and her attack Leslie. Now, what happened that Ted walked in at this point when Nicole was attacking Leslie and was able to break that situation up. And of course, Leslie tried to play the victim. I want to see if Leslie tries to bring charges against Nicole. I feel like that's something the character would do. You know, Jacob and Kat are obsessed with taking Leslie down. And here's Nicole attacking her in front of all these witnesses at a restaurant. I think it could play into Leslie once again getting an upper hand on Nicole, or just toying with Nicole even more. So today was some good work by the villain that is Leslie in trying to get Hayley on her side because, as she said, the enemy of my enemy is my friend. Both of their enemies are kind of the Duprees, although definitely more so Leslie than Hayley. The Duprees just shun Hayley. But with Hayley probably faking this pregnancy, she could use someone like Leslie on her side for sure. And I would love to see Leslie like coach Hayley into becoming a better villain on the show. I think that could be an interesting watch. So enjoyed all the Leslie stuff today for sure. The other big stuff was the fact that Eva messed up at the job with Ted, thanks to Kat in one of the past few episodes when she kind of set Eva up to fail by clicking away on an important message that Eva needed to do. She didn't do it, and now Ted is upset. And then when Eva leaves the room, Kat's, of course, being her usual catty self and attacking Eva. Luckily, Eva was listening in and realizing that Kat set her up to make it seem like Eva doesn't care about this job. She's just not trying hard and all that. When Ted leaves, Eva confronts Kat. And, Kat got her usual pot shots in on Eva, and she was trying to get Eva to admit that Eva knew about all the things that Leslie was doing to Laura, and maybe even some of it was Eva's idea. Luckily, Eva didn't go for that. During those scenes, I need at some point for Eva to smack the shit out of Kat and her big mouth. So when that didn't happen, I enjoyed Nicole attacking Leslie because I needed someone to do something in today's episode because there was a lot of tension amongst people today. So it was nice to see someone getting physical. The surprise was it was Nicole. But yeah, it's the usual Kat and Eva stuff. And I think Eva tried to call Kat out on being jealous because Ted is her father too, and Kat just can't stand that. I don't know where they're going to go with this sisterly relationship with Kat and Eva. For me, it has actually lost some momentum, and it's because of that robot Thomas, as I like to call him, because yeah, it's just not a good triangle. It's not as good of a triangle as it can be. And so with that happening, their rivalry has lost a little steam. But today they had some good scenes. Now, I also heavily enjoyed Shanice and Derek today, even more so today than their date a couple episodes ago. Dare I say that there is this chemistry between Shanice and Derek. On their date, it was funny, but I wasn't feeling them like this is a couple I want to root for. And it's still not necessarily a couple I want to root for, but it has fixed the character of Derek. And that's very important because he's been such a failure of a character. They are giving me possible comedic couple on the show. Many of soaps in the past have had these comedic couples. Of course, Days of Our Lives is my show, so I think about Eugene and Calliope in the 80s, even though I kind of hated watching them. But they still were a comedic couple. I think Shanice and Derek could be that comic relief that a soap opera sometimes needs. And, I'm not opposed to them going further and further. It was also kind of nice to see Ashley jealous with the situation, but Ashley was still her annoying self. I've seen a lot of people online saying the only thing that's going to fix Ashley is if they just continue to descend her into being more of a villain. And yeah, I think that's the only thing that might work. Maybe she will end up being Joey's child and then she could become full-on villain, because this current form of Ashley really just sucks. She sucks as a person. Like, it's not good to watch sometimes. But today it was a little better, mostly because I enjoyed Shanice and Derek, not so much Ashley. And speaking of Ashley, just a few episodes ago, yesterday's episode actually, Dani interrupted Ashley and Andre on their date. Today, after Pamela was trying to get Dani to model, and Dani thought she might be too old for that, for their whole modeling agency thing, Andre came over to confront Dani about what she did at the restaurant when he was on his date with Dani. Like, she was basically trying to stake her claim on Andre in front of Ashley. But of course, in typical Andre and Dani fashion, this argument led to them having sex with all the tension that was in their scenes today. A lot of great tension in a lot of today's scenes. That's why I think I enjoyed this episode. They got the tension right among so many different characters and scenes today. And I thought they got it right with Dani and Andre as well, with after they having sex, Dani confirming to Andre that she just staked her claim on him now. So I don't know what this means for the little stupid triangle with Ashley, with Andre and Ashley's lack of chemistry, but another good step in the right direction. So definitely a very entertaining show today with lots of good tension all around.